From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Hannah Mordo, and this is your News 8 Daily for Tuesday, March 10th. Get ready for a mostly cloudy and warm day. Highs are going to be around 74 degrees, so it's going to feel fantastic yet again. The thing is, today we have the chance for some strong to severe storms moving in really later tonight throughout tomorrow morning. So here's Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey with what you need to know and what you can expect tonight.
Don't forget today, this is Severe Weather Preparedness Week, okay? We don't expect any severe storms during the daytime hours today. So the statewide tornado drill is going on as scheduled. That will be at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Good time to talk to your kids about where to go at home, work, and school. Not work for the kids, but at school. And know where you need to go at your place of business as well. Again, that'll be at 10:15 across the state. Most kids will be doing the tornado drills at school this morning. All right, let's talk about our severe weather threat, which is much later tonight. Level 2 out of 5 risk in the yellow here. That's all of the metro area. Level 3 out of 5 risk, higher risk up in northwestern Indiana. All modes in play. Hail, wind, and tornado. Your tornado and wind threat, or hail threat rather, much higher in that level 3 out of 5 risk. So it's a higher end severe weather event for north and northwestern Indiana. This will be in the evening and overnight hours, okay? It probably is going to be more of an overnight event for us here in the metro area. This is going to be the trigger, this low and trailing cold front as it arrives later tonight. So really what we're going to be watching is Illinois by late afternoon. Futurecast, this is at noon. I don't think we're going to have much except for some stray showers from time to time. There's 4 o'clock, and this right here, this is going to be the area that we're watching for this kind of the start of severe weather. That's going to be the focal point for the worst storms, too, in central and northern Illinois. 7 o'clock, you're seeing some storms up in northern Indiana. Now, the thought process is this is at 10 o'clock. We're going to see some of these lines of storms extend south through the overnight. This is at 2 a.m. I know it's not really showing it here, but I do think it's possible through the overnight hours. And then as we gear up for daybreak, this is at 6 a.m. Now we're starting to see more widespread showers and storms, and these will likely be non-severe, but some heavy rain. And then it's just kind of on and off.
President Trump is sending mixed messages about the state of fighting with Iran. In a phone call yesterday, Trump told CBS News that the war was very complete, but over the weekend, he called for Iran's unconditional surrender. And just hours before the president held a news conference yesterday, the Department of Defense posted an image of a missile saying, "We only have just begun to fight."
We're achieving major strides toward completing our military objective. And some people could say they're pretty well complete.
You've said the war is, quote, very complete, but your defense secretary says this is just the beginning. So which is it, and how long should Americans be prepared?
Well, I think
for
you could say it both.
The president's talk of ending the fighting came shortly after a phone call between Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin. Putin's office says that the Russian leader gave Trump suggestions for stopping the conflict and called on Trump to calm world oil markets. Today, Iran launched new attacks on Gulf Arab countries. There's new video of British jets shooting down drones aimed toward Jordan and Bahrain. Today, incoming missile sirens sounded there as well as in Dubai. Leaders in Saudi Arabia and Kuwait say they also shot down drones aimed at those countries. The Defense Department, the U.S. Defense Department, and Secretary Pete Hegseth and the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff will update the public on fighting this morning. We'll have live coverage of that briefing coming up at 8 this morning here on Wish TV and WishTV.com. Here in Indiana, gas prices are rising due to the war in Iran. Governor Mike Braun says that he is not ruling out suspending the sales tax on gas if the war continues. He spoke to News 8's government reporter, Garrett Berquist.
The governor says we're still very early in the economic effects of the war.
This is a 7 to 10 day spike. And just like the stock market can go up and down, you can't dismiss it, but you got to give it time to play out.
20% of the world's oil flows through the Strait of Hormuz, which separates Iran and the United Arab Emirates. It's the entrance to the Persian Gulf. It's barely 25 miles wide at its narrowest point. Nothing is currently getting through. Less oil supply means higher prices at the pump. Indiana charges a 7% use tax on top of the standard gasoline excise tax. Democrats say they'd support suspending it for a while.
We're already, of course, seeing gas prices not just go up, but go up significantly in a very short amount of time. House Democrats have supported eliminating for a period of time the sales tax on gas, the gas tax, the significant Indiana state gas tax. That was voted down in the past by Republicans. We would certainly support that again in a time of crisis and need for Hoosier families.
Braun won't rule that out, but he says we should first see how long the war lasts.
And once you secure the supply coming through the Strait of Hormuz, you're going to see it go down, ideally, as much as it went up. And if not, everybody will have to use the tools in their own tool chest to make sure you mitigate it.
Energy ministers from the G7 countries, which include the United States, met Monday to discuss potentially releasing some of the supplies in their strategic stockpiles. The U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve had a roughly 125-day supply at the end of December. Should the United States release some oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve to offset some of the spikes we're seeing in oil prices?
I'm concerned about that. That's another reason why I hope that this war will be over in a very short period of time, that it won't drag out for months or certainly for years. But President Trump is exploring all options, from negotiating with Middle Eastern countries to bring more oil to the United States, to releasing some from our strategic oil reserves. And I know those conversations are ongoing.
The gas use tax has come up before during international crises. Braun's predecessor, Eric Holcomb, did not suspend it when gas prices spiked following Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022. I'm Garrett Bergquist for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
The governor also says his efforts to rein in utility costs are producing results. Braun says Indiana Michigan Power will seek a base rate reduction due to revenue from data centers and other large power users. The governor says he wants to see similar actions from other utilities, but critics say the state is not doing enough to ease the burden on customers.
The message is clear. We want you to give us reliable electricity, but you're not going to do it on the backs of ratepayers and consumers. And it's the first time that dynamic has changed in my observation of watching utility rates over a long period of time.
Unless we undo TDSIC and construction work in progress, two of the big policies that have just laid into state law the ability of utilities to recapture investments that 1002 does not undo, I don't see how we're going to see big reduction in rates at this time.
Democrats are calling for a repeal of the state sales tax on utilities. Breaking overnight, IMPD says someone targeted a 16-year-old in a shooting on the city's north side. Officers say they found the teenager wounded just after 8:30 last night at an apartment on Biscay Square near Michigan Street and West Lynn Road. Police say the teen was critical when taken to the hospital. Investigators say they don't know what led to the shooting. IMPD says they are taking steps to reinforce downtown safety as crowds grow with the warmer temperatures. It comes after a string of violent incidents in the city. News 8's Malia Van Ostrin spoke with police leaders about what they're doing to keep Indianapolis safe.
IMPD says the most recent incident happened early Monday morning near Maryland and Meridian Streets. Police say a fight broke out at a bar in that area and escalated to a shooting at a nearby parking lot. IMPD says a woman has now been arrested in connection with that shooting. IMPD Downtown District Commander Shane Foley says officers were able to take control of the situation quickly.
Officers were there when the shooting occurred, and then because of their presence, they were able to make a very quick arrest and arrest another individual who is for possession of a firearm by a serious violent felon.
Foley says the response from the officers is exactly what he expects to see as the temperatures continue to get warmer. People who like to spend their time downtown on the weekends say they enjoy that there are things to do, but think the violence is getting out of hand.
It get crazy at night for real. And then everybody just drinking and stuff, and then they can't control their liquor for real.
But chill out, man. Like you got to know your limits when you're drinking, man, because stuff like that can happen. So, because like people who don't go to clubs and stuff, we're trying to, have fun downtown. But you guys are getting wild, getting drunk and stuff. So like, let's just help each other, man.
Officers say they hear the public's concerns and are doing what they can to prevent incidents before they escalate. Last week, IMPD announced the installation of new public cameras downtown to help assist with monitoring and crime prevention.
If you come downtown and you engage in illegal activity, because we have people all over the place, the likelihood of you being arrested is increased. We're being very proactive with our policing, and when we need to be reactive and make arrests, we're doing that as well.
Other people who frequent downtown say that although they hope things get better, they have noticed an increase in crime downtown, especially among the youth.
start thinking before you react. You know, so that's the way it is.
Our officers are working diligently to keep everybody safe. You know, as we have more events, we're going to have more officers downtown. We want people to not only be safe, but feel safe visiting, living, working downtown Indianapolis.
In Indianapolis, I'm Leah Van Ostrand for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
People who live in Speedway will soon pay higher sewage rates. The Speedway Town Council approved the increase to pay for an $18 million expansion to a wastewater plant that the council says the state is mandating. News 8's Kat Sandoval reports.
Residents are expected to see an increase of about $11 a month on their bill. I spoke to retired resident Terry Combs, and she has lived in Speedway for more than 14 years. She tells me she doesn't know if she'll make this work.
What's the point of us all coming in here if they don't listen to us and talk to us about it? You know, you got your lights going up, your gas going up, your sewer going up. Everything's going up except for my Social Security.
Speedway resident like Combs spoke out against the new ordinance in the public hearing. But town council members say it was a tough decision they had to make.
Businesses are going to be paying a much larger fee ultimately because they are going to be using more water than the residents. It's a user fee, and you pay for what you use, just like you would if you were living in Indianapolis or another community.
According to the town council, there are no state grants available, and Speedway must abide to state regulations, including a 10-year, 1-hour storm event without a sewer overflow and treatment for a year. But residents disagree with the councilors and say businesses should be taking the brunt of it.
There's a lot of tax incentives, a lot of TIF funds that could be used, and I just think putting it on the residents is not the best idea.
I asked Councilor Sturgeon when the new rates will begin, and he says he's not sure when. Reporting in the studio, I'm Kat Sandoval, Wish TV, WishTV.com.
Happening today, the Horizon League's basketball championship games are at the Corteva Coliseum at the State Fairgrounds. Action starts on the women's side with the women's title game. It's at noon. Youngstown State will take on Green Bay. Then it's the men's championship game between Detroit Mercy and Wright State. Tip-off is at 7 o'clock. The winners will get an NCAA tournament bid. Wish TV is ready for the madness of March, and we want you to join us this year for our bracket bonanza. You could win a Yeti Tundra cooler and a beverage package. You can sign up right now at wishtv.com. You have until Tuesday, March 17th to submit a bracket. It's always fun. I don't know how I'm going to do it this year, but sometimes I just let my kids choose, and honestly, they do better than me. In Colts Watch, wide receiver Alec Pierce is staying in Indianapolis, but a longtime Colt is heading to Pittsburgh. Yesterday, the Colts re-signed Pierce to a 4-year deal that will pay him $116 million if he finishes the full term. Reports show that $60 million is fully guaranteed. Pierce has led the NFL in yards per catch for each of his past 2 seasons. On the same day, though, the Colts traded 6-year veteran Michael Pittman Jr. to the Steelers, who then signed Pittman to a 3-year deal. Last season, Pittman had 80 catches for 784 yards and 7 total touchdowns. Trading Pittman, though, opens up $24 million in salary cap space for the Colts as the team is still trying to re-sign quarterback Daniel Jones. And this has been your News 8 Daily from Wish TV. I'm Hannah Mordeau. Watch us on Wish TV and WishTV.com.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go, connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.